Anthony Slater here with Darnell Mayberry at the AT&T Center in San Antonio for the Bob Moore Ford Thunder post-game wrap. Another game won, another 122-105 Thunder lost. Same exact score as happened in the Clippers series last year, but this one kind of felt a little bit worse, wouldn't you say?
Yeah, I mean, the Thunder's defense just wasn't there. Anytime you give up 122 points, obviously you're having some defensive issues. But tonight, I mean, they scored in the paint. They scored from three-point range. The Thunder just didn't have any answers for the Spurs. Anything they really did. I mean, everyone kind of got going for San Antonio tonight. Really tough loss in Game 1, not the way they wanted to start this series.
The first tough loss of the series was obviously Serge Ibaka going down right before it. It kind of forced Scott Brooks into some strange lineup decisions today, which, he had to make. You can't fault him for making them, but none of them really worked. He starts with Nick Collison with a bigger lineup. It can't score, and then he goes to the smaller lineup, which, like I know you're writing about tomorrow, just, couldn't defend. Boris Diaw was bullying people. Do they have – I mean, he's going to keep having to do these unique combinations, but do they have an answer?
I mean, you got to figure out something, and that's kind of what makes this loss tougher is that Serge Ibaka is not around. There are things that we saw tonight that might not be fixed because Serge Ibaka is not, as Scott Brooks said, coming through that door. So the fact that he's not available, the paint's still going to be open for the Spurs in Game 2. Against the Clippers when they gave up 122 points in Game 1, you knew that wasn't the Thunder defense that we have grown accustomed to seeing over the years, especially in the last couple years. So without Serge Ibaka, they've got to figure out a way to start guarding the ball better, particularly Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, and making sure that they stop the ball, not letting Tim Duncan, Danny Green, Kawhi Leonard, all of those guys get going offensively. Until they do that, I'm not sure they do have an answer.
Durant was, he was good, 28 points on 19 shots. Westbrook was even good for spurts, especially in the third quarter. But don't these guys, they can't just be good in this series. They're going to have to be, legendary great for them to come out of these games.
Yeah, I mean, with about 5.5 minutes left in the game, it was a 10-point game. The game wasn't over. It ended up getting up to about 20 points or so. And I felt like the Thunder still had a chance to win, but Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook weren't great tonight in the fourth quarter, and Manu Ginobili outscored him on his own. So in order for the Thunder to get out of this series, especially if they're going to play questionable defense, they're going to have to rely on Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook to really carry them home in games like this, and that didn't happen tonight.
Going to probably need more from Perk and Cephalosha and Collison, who combined for 5 points, scoreless for Collison and Cephalosha.
Yeah, I mean, 5 points for 3 starters, that's just kind of unacceptable, and it's kind of why we questioned who Scott Brooks was going to go with in that starting lineup. Nick Collison does some things offensively that are nice, his passing, his screen setting, but, he's not the same shooter Serge Ibaka is. He's not the same force in the paint that Serge Ibaka is. So they're going to have to find another way to manufacture some offense, and until they do, it's going to be the Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook show.
Game 2 on Wednesday night here in San Antonio at 8 p.m. What can the Thunder do differently, or is it just a matter of Kevin Durant and Russell Westbrook have to have a huge night?
No, I mean, they got to defend better. I mean, they got off to an 18-7 deficit early in the first 6.5 minutes of the game. The Spurs were really scoring. I think they made 7 of their first 10 shots. The Thunder was 2 of 10, so it's just a bad start by the Thunder. They end up going small and figuring out some things offensively. But like you said, if that small lineup can score and defend, then I think they're going to be much better off in Game 2. Or if the big lineup can defend and score. One of those things is going to have to work. They're going to need more balance in Game 2.
No doubt about it. That'll do it for us. For the best news coverage team anywhere, stay tuned to newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.